Alex here with a legal nuts and bolts video on meta rulings or meta decisions. What I'm talking about are decisions or rulings by a judge that have nothing or maybe only partially to do with the law and the facts of the case. And this does happen. It happened to me so many times that I'm creating this video because I'm going to need to refer to it as I continue on in the My Docket series. I'm on part 19 of the My Docket series. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, check out the playlists on the channel. That is the series that goes through my entire 8-year-long high conflict child custody video from beginning to end. And there are points in that series where I'm going to need to talk about this because it is a thing, unfortunately. I'm going to give some abstract ideas as to what I'm talking about, but it's really going to connect to my viewers when they see it happen to me in the case, especially when it comes to the decisions that have to do with the judge ordering midnight exchanges for our 2-year-old son. So some of those examples are, number one, the judge feels bad that one side, under the law and the facts, is supposed to win on everything. So the judge will find something to give the losing side so that they haven't lost everything, so that they have a little bit of something to walk out of that courtroom and feel, like, oh, well, it wasn't total loss, at least I got that. And it especially is likely to occur if that person has an attorney. And it's even more likely to occur if you're representing yourself. If you go into court unrepresented and your opponent has an attorney, this is a thing. The judge, no matter how wrong your opponent is, they paid all those thousands of dollars for an attorney and you paid nothing. So you just can't win. You're not allowed to win everything. They have to find something to rule against you on. Now, of course, I'm not trying to say that this is what they're supposed to do. I'm just trying to explain one way in which this can happen. And one way in which it can happen is that the other side has an attorney, and it's especially likely if you don't have one, because then you can't even say, hey, well, I had an attorney too. If the other side has an attorney and you do, oftentimes this will still happen. Some people call it throwing them a bone. One side really presented the law well. The facts of the case indicated that they were supposed to win on everything that they brought to the court, but the judge doesn't want the other side to feel like they got nothing, so they find something to give them. This is especially likely to occur in cases involving child custody. When we're talking like money lawsuits, million-dollar punitive damage cases or pain and suffering cases, medical malpractice cases, it's not that uncommon for those judges to really understand their role in the legal system. But the family judges, they're different, and sometimes they will let somebody have some kind of small victory, not because the law demands it, not because the facts indicate they're entitled to it, but just because they don't want them to feel like they lost on everything. And another example in which this can happen is the fear that if you win, you're going to file more papers. This is something that I felt was a constant driving factor for my first family judge. There was this idea that if he granted the relief I requested, I might come back and file more papers. And if he denied the relief I requested, I might just go away. And I talk about this in the videos Self-Representation Bias and also Wing It Judges. In those videos, I don't really address this. I don't grapple it with both hands, but I do kind of allude to what I'm talking about in this video, which is that the judge is going to think that he needs to get rid of you, he needs you to go away, you don't have an attorney, you're not paying thousands of dollars to come before the court, it's too easy, it's too free, and the only thing that you're going to understand is losing. And what they do is sometimes they will deny whatever it is you're requesting, even if you're entitled to it under the facts and the law, because they want you to go away. It's not the correct thing to do. It has nothing to do with the law. They're not doing their job, but what they are concerned about is not the merits of the case so much as what you're going to do after the result. So if you win, again, if you win, you may come back and file more papers. If you lose, you're going to go away. And that's preferential to them. That means less work for them. So not all judges do this, please. And I don't want anyone to think that I'm talking about all judges. But it is a thing that I experienced. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, I am going to need this video to refer to it as I continue on in the My Docket series, because I'm starting to get to the point where this is going to become a thing, and I want my viewers to be able to watch what I'm talking about with regards to meta rulings and meta decisions in a separate dedicated video rather than bring it up over and over again in the My Docket series. So if anyone has any questions about meta rulings and meta decisions, please post something down in the comments below. This was absolutely one of the biggest thorns in my side throughout the entire process of trying to protect my son from abuse and neglect. And also, if you are a viewer who feels that this has happened to you, definitely let us know. Post it down in the comments below, because I do want my other viewers to know that there are occasions out there where you'll lose not because you were wrong, just because the judge was afraid of emboldening you. And it's, again, I've said this multiple times, but I want to, reiterate that I'm not saying this is okay. I'm just saying this is one of the things that happens. Just because it happens and I'm letting my viewers know about it doesn't mean I think it's great or that it's correct or that you just have to live with it. In fact, I didn't live with it quite often. I would find a way to appeal it. And the Supreme Court of Nevada, at least, and probably all the other appellate courts out there, they're going to notice something's a little off when the judge isn't following the law, when the facts don't line up with what the judge is trying to, order, and they're going to overturn that decision. Not every time. Sometimes a judge will really go and bend themselves into a pretzel to make it appear as though that they are correct in the decision they're making. In fact, one of my appeals, that's kind of what the judge did. He twisted himself into a logical pretzel to sort of make it look like he was right. I still filed an appeal and the decision was still reversed. But what I'm trying to tell my viewers is when this does happen, this does open up that judge to being overturned on appeal if you can show that the judge violated a statute or that the judge abused his or her discretion, which not always, but sometimes it shows. And I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and I will see you guys next time.